Everybody, it's Yanni Hamburger back. This time we're doing cannibals. In our movie today, you thought I was going to go with Cannibal Holocaust, didn't you? Those of you who know me well were already thinking Cannibal Holocaust because it is one of my favorite movies. But no, we're doing another one of my favorite cannibal movies today. This one is called The Hills Have Eyes. Hills Have Eyes is a 1977 American horror film written and directed and edited by Wes Craven, starring Susan Lanier, Michael Berryman, and Dee Wallace. Now, this follows a family called the Carters, who, by the way, are a suburban family targeted by a bunch of cannibals after they become stranded in the Nevada desert. So let's get down to the plot. The Carter family, of course, are trying to get to L.A., Parents Bob and Ethel are driving, accompanying their teenage children, Bobby, Brenda, and their eldest daughter, Lynn. Now, Lynn's husband, Doug, also on the trip, and their baby, Catherine. The family's dog, whose name is Beauty and the Beast. Like I said, they're two dogs, Beauty and Beast. You get it? In Nevada, they stop at Fred's Oasis for fuel. Fred urges them to stay on the main roads as Fred's truck suddenly explodes. Oh, boy. Dismissing Fred's warnings as a crazy person's ramblings. Yeah, you saw it coming. The Carters get startled by overhead aircraft when driving near Nellis Air Force Range. Also, you're in Nevada. You're gonna. Yeah. Anyways, they skid off the road and crash. The dogs become very panicky, start barking at the hills. And then Beauty runs off into the hills. Chasing after her, Bobby finds her mutilated body. Frightened, he runs and knocks himself unconscious. We're already going into full clown show, and we're not even, 30 minutes, 20 minutes into the movie? Bob walks back to Fred's Oasis to get help, but as night falls, he finds Fred, who tells him about his son Jupiter. As a child, Jupiter killed the family's livestock and later murdered his sister. Fred attacked Jupiter with a tire iron and left him in the hills to die. However, Jupiter survived and had children with a depraved alcoholic prostitute known as Mama. Sounds like a couple of my exes. Together they had 3 sons, Mars, Pluto, and Mercury. And an abused daughter, Ruby. Yeah, that made total sense. The family led Papa Jupiter survives by cannibalizing travelers and stealing supplies. Papa Jupiter suddenly crashes through a window and kills Fred with a tire iron, takes Bob prisoner, and crucifies him. Ooh, yummy. Brenda finds Bobby still shaken up about Beauty. The two return to the trailer. Bobby doesn't mention Beauty's death to avoid frightening the rest of the family. That's when Pluto sneaks in and signals Papa Jupiter to set Bob on fire as a distraction. Brenda stays in the trailer with Katie, while Ethel, Lynn, Doug, and Bobby rush out to save Bob. The Carters eventually extinguish the fire, but Bob dies. Well, while they were extinguishing the fire, Pluto and Mars attack the camper. Yes, and Mars does things to Brenda that we can't talk about on YouTube. When Ethel and Lynn return, Mars shoots them both, as one would. Pluto abducts Katie and flees with Mars, intending for the family to eat her. Hearing her screams, Doug and Bobby rush back, only to find Lynn dead, Ethel mortally wounded, and Brenda traumatized. Wonder why. Pluto and Mars return to their home, which is in a cave. Beast pushes Mercury off a hilltop to his death. Mama chains Ruby outside the cave, torments her, and forces her to eat Beauty as punishment for sympathizing with the Carters. The next morning, shortly after Ethel dies, Doug sets out to find Katie, while Papa Jupiter and Pluto set out to kill the rest of the family. You should. Beast tears Pluto's throat out. Brenda and Bobby use Ethel's corpse as a trap to kill Papa Jupiter. Doug gets to the cave where he sees Ruby knocking out Mama and carrying Katie away. Doug catches up with Ruby, but Mars follows and attacks Doug. Mars gains the upper hand, but Ruby interferes, enabling Doug to overpower him. And then Doug does things that will get me demonetized on YouTube if I mention them. And yeah, Ruby is crying. So that is basically the movie in the nutshell, or in a nutshell too. Could be in the nutshell, in a nutshell. Who knows? I love this movie. It Things like this creep me out, and I'll tell you why horror like this creeps me out, because it can happen, and that's what I love about movies like this, because it can happen. We did real horror a couple days ago. Movies like The Hills Have Eyes, maybe not to the extent that it did happen in the movie, but it can still happen in real life. I mean, you could still have a family of cannibals somewhere waiting to pounce on tourists. There's plenty of towns. I live near a few towns where because we're tourist traps, there are people in this town that will rob you just because you're a tourist. Um, that sort of thing. I don't know about cannibalism, but you'll be robbed. There's a reason why they call Myrtle Beach Murder Beach for a reason. Um, Again, this is one of the best movies. It is. If you want somebody to get an introduction into Wes Craven and not get them into Scream, or maybe they've seen Scream and they want to go a little deeper into Wes Craven, this is a great movie to have them watch. The Hills Have Eyes, absolutely outstanding movie. And once again, on my list of movies, and I'm going to do this list one day. I'm going to make the video. It's on my list of movies that all horror fans should watch before they die. And again, my opinion only. All right, so we've done it. Yep. Of course, Wes Craven also worked on The Last House on the Left. This is why it's so gritty. Again, Last House on the Left is one of my favorite movies. So, because again, Last House on the Left is something that could legitimately happen. Craven wanted something a little bit more sophisticated than Last House on the Left with this one, but the truth of the matter is, it's still an awesome movie. He did a hell of a job on it, and even the remake is good. I wouldn't, again, I'm not one of those people that suggest remakes, because I'm not a big fan of remakes. I'm not going to tell you not to watch it, but get the original 1977 version of this movie. It's gritty. It's amazing. Just do it. All right. So that will take care of today. Again, we were doing cannibals, and it's Hamburger out.